my channel. My name is Cruz Santana and thank you so much for being here and clicking on this video. For those of you who are new to my channel, I am a PhD candidate at UC Davis and I also do a lot of different work, but a lot of my fieldwork, research, and public scholarship focuses on the stories of childhood arrivals who have been deported from the US to Mexico. That's one of the reasons why I'm here in Tijuana today, which is sadly my last day. Today I'm leaving at night, hopeful that the border crossing won't be as hectic. So I brought my car into Tijuana and have been driving around for the first time on my own. So yeah, so today I'm leaving, and before I leave I'm going to still continue working on the field. Sorry about that. And yeah, so with that said, excuse that. So with that said, welcome to this new vlog. And if you would love to connect, definitely follow me on my social media. Instagram would be the best place to stay in touch. So thank you, and we'll let this vlog continue. Bye.
Sigo cruzando ríos, andando selvas, amando el sol cada día. Sigo sacando espinas de lo profundo del corazón. En la noche sigo encendiendo sueños para limpiar con el humo sagrado cada recuerdo.
Estamos en Playas de Tijuana, llegamos hace unas horas mis papás y yo. Estoy con mi otra hermana y estamos en nuestro nuevo hogar. ¿Qué vamos a ir a hacer, Tania?
Vamos a ir a pedirle permiso a los oficiales si nos dejan.
Eso para poder tomar video y fotos abajo en el mural.
Sí.
So, si nos dieron chance y vamos a bajar, o voy a bajar yo a tomar video y fotos.
Sí, al artista no dejaron pasar al artista.
I'm gonna go down and record the mural before I go back home.
And it was called yellow. So then I took my turn. Oh, what a thing to have done. And it was all yellow.
Como pueden ver, la marea subió bastante y está igual casi como empezamos a trabajar en septiembre. Tenemos a Isaac, Non, Carla, Monse, Andy, Tania, Jairo. Good morning. It's Monday. I just finished doing laundry and I just finished my only meeting for the day. I had to reschedule the rest of the meetings I have for today because I was able to reschedule these for Wednesday once I'm back in Fresno. So I'm just organizing our stuff and cleaning up a little bit here in the Airbnb since I did have some friends over yesterday for dinner. But before finishing up with the laundry, let me show you this Airbnb. And this is just the dining table, the kitchen area. I really like this place. It is conveniently located close to the ocean, and all the amenities that it has makes it just perfect. Let me give you a little tour of the room. So it actually has 2 restrooms. I didn't even show you that. So one of the restrooms is outside the main room, and then one of them is in here. So that's the entrance. Closet space that we didn't even use. The bed. So all my stuff's here. And yeah, the view is so beautiful. I actually had a meeting there like a few minutes ago. I really like it. It's pretty clean, and I don't know, it just meets all my needs. So this is a really nice view. Yeah. So let me do a little backups. I came to Tijuana to drop off my dad to the airport, and my mom came with me, thankfully. And I'm just so happy that we were able to make this travel together. So we took off from the Central Valley at midnight and got to San Diego around like 6 in the morning. So I decided to take my parents to Coronado Beach, which is one of my favorite playas here in San Diego, and it did not disappoint. It was so beautiful. The weather was just perfect. So I took some of my camping stuff to the beach, and we just laid there for a little bit, relaxed, and you know, just take in the moments. It was super special. After that, we went to Chicano Park. It was my parents' first time there. I usually take the special people in my life to Chicano Park because I want them to see more of the cultural aspects of my background, our history, and it's just a very, very special place for me. So we went there. My mom was so excited seeing all the murals, and it made me feel glad that we took this time on our way to Tijuana to stop there and for her to actually take in the art as well. And I also appreciate the fact that my dad knew a lot of the history in Chicano Park, and a lot of the figures are painted there like Joaquin Murrieta's. And it feels like it all came full circle because in the past I've tutored for a class on California history, and we actually teach about Joaquin Murrieta. So that was a special moment. So after that, I drove into Tijuana and we went out to eat at Cevicheria Nice. The best tostadas, red snapper tostadas ever. That place has become one of like my key places to always go to when I'm in Tijuana. So we had a good time. It was actually our first time eating out in public due to COVID and the pandemic and all the restrictions that are going on. From our experience eating out for the first time here in Mexico, I feel like the measures in place are so more advanced than the ones in the US. So you actually have to step on a mat to clean your shoes. They take your temperature, and they also give you hand sanitizer, and you must be wearing a mask when you go in. And the way the tables are set up, they're all spread out. I've been super happy being here, and I have so many plans moving forward that you will eventually know about. And I'm just really happy to be given this opportunity to continue the work that I'm doing and working closely with community in Tijuana. So definitely watch out for that. Yesterday, I also went to Playas de Tijuana, to the border area, and I wanted to go take some video and footage for the mural project and this documentary that I'm currently working on. But obviously the beach is closed due to all the restrictions that are going on. But luckily I went with Tanya and Liz, and Tanya was able to speak to one of the policemen there who had previously allowed her to go down to the beach before, when other activists and scholars have come to Tijuana to go see the murals. So she did the same thing for me, and we talked to the officer, and I told him like, hey, like I came down from the Central Valley. This is a project that I worked on with Tanya, who's painted there, and he was just asking like, who is she? Which one's her? The one with the glasses? I'm like, yeah, like that's her. Do you recognize her? He's like, okay, it's fine. Like go really quick. Just make sure that only one of you goes. So I made my way down to the border area where we have the mural, and it looks in perfect conditions. Like even with the weather and the salt and just the entire situation of how the border point there is with the climate and just the environment, it looks great. And I feel like it has to do a lot with the materials used and a lot of the maintenance work that went into it the months after. So I'm super glad that the mural is still holding on. It doesn't look like it's gonna go anywhere at this point unless that border point gets removed, which is something that could happen. But until then, I'm still gonna be working on this mural project. So I'll definitely insert pictures and video of how this mural looks at this moment. After that, we just decided to catch up, and I feel like those moments with community is what makes public scholarship so important and valuable, especially to work that connects policy, human impact, and just an overall sense of how immigration law and policy affects people directly, and just being here and listening to their stories and knowing that they want people to know what's going on with them and that they want to be visible with their stories in an ethical way that also bridges the arts and like social media and videography, all these elements to make their stories visible. It's just, it makes me happy that I'm able to support them in that sense. So with that said, that whole entire night we were just spending it in community with friends, catching up with Adri. They are a PhD student in Harvard but is now here in Tijuana, and catching up with my friends as well, and then having my parents meet them. So it's just a full-on happy moment for me, and I feel like I always miss having these spaces and where I'm able to reconnect with the importance of my work and being in a very loving and supporting environment. So with that said, it's been such a beautiful day, and now that I have to soon leave, it doesn't really affect me as much because I know that I could always come back and I will have this space again. And it also helps me to stay refreshed and like I mentioned, connected, but refreshed in the sense that it gives me that push to say, hey, we know grad school could be pretty hard sometimes on not just the work and labor that goes into it, but also the emotional and mental health aspects. But to see that your work actually does have meaning, and you could see that meaning, and it's something that you can touch, you know, and like I said, like you could feel it. It's that push that I feel like a lot of us need. In the sense with the work that I do, that's the core. I feel like this is going to be the only moment that I'm going to be able to full on reflect on the work that I'm doing so far as a public scholar, but definitely I see the importance and relevance even more now with the fellowship with Imagining America. So those are just some preliminary observations and reflections at this moment. And I think that once I leave this Airbnb, so definitely go get food with my mom and hopefully one of my friends, and head out to Playas again to document a little bit more on the border. And then also I'm going to meet with one of the story narrators and we're going to take her photos. So I'm excited for all of this, and this is a work that honestly just comes to me so easily, and I'm just very, very passionate about it. So I'm excited to meet her for the first time. We've connected only online, and it's really nice to always see people in person and just, you know, put a face to the messages and just all the virtual things. So excited for that. Obviously we're taking all the precautions, masks, social distancing and all that. So it's been really interesting to see how even during the pandemic and with the COVID restrictions and just overall everything that's going on in the world at this moment, how can scholars, and specifically publicly engaged scholars, how are we managing this time, and how are we also still supporting community in the projects that they want to push forward? So I'm here testing that out, and I feel that so far it's been great. And knowing also that they have access to computers, internet, and you know, telephone access makes it easier for us to work together. So I think in that sense we're lucky that we are able to still maintain that communication strong, and being able to have these moments and we can connect in person are also very, very meaningful. So that's just a little context in the work at this moment. So I'll definitely make this its own video. So with that said, I'm gonna conclude this video blog entry, and thank you so much for supporting and being here and watching this video. And definitely, if you haven't so yet, subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and share with anyone you think might find it useful.